like I say, if I earned what I earn now, but I was able to work remote, that would make me so happy, like so happy. That like the thought of in a year or two to be able to be pulling like 10k a month, like that's insane. Of course it is, but what I'm like,
Yeah, last month, my second month in closing, just come away literally, 2 days ago now with $11,550 in commission.
How does it feel? We are back in the room with another member interview. Really, really exciting. We've got Cavin Wild here. Very exciting one, I think, for anyone who's more specifically in car sales and just sales as a whole is going to find this one really, really interesting. But as always, Cavin, if you want to sort of kick things off with obviously who you are, age, when you came on board to Capital Closer, what you were doing before, and more importantly, what you made last month in July in commissions.
Yeah, I'm Cavin, 26 from Manchester. I came from a car sales background, as you said there. I came on board March the 24th, I think it was, exactly, yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, March 24th. And yeah, last month, my second month in closing, just come away literally, 2 days ago now with $11,550 in commission.
How does it feel?
I still don't think it's fully sunk in yet. It is pretty crazy because I didn't think it would be as quick as it has been. I mean, I knew I'd put in the effort, but you think that to see results like that, you're going to be working for quite a while, and to get that in literally 4 months from coming on board when I was still working my job is just insane. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, 100%, which we'll dive into and what you said on the first call to me, which was hilarious. But you, before coming on board Capital Closer, what was your background? I mean, you were in car sales. Was it only car? You were in car sales for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I was. So I mean, I did law at university, but then as soon as I finished that, I realised like it's gonna take me like 10, 15 years or something to get to that stage. So I jumped into sales and I did that for 4 years in corporate, working with car sales for a couple of the brokers for finance. And yeah, just the same sort of reasons I feel like a lot of people would be feeling. Everything you sort of said was really resonating with me when I first saw it. Just the capped commissions, the sort of long hours, the commute to work every day, seeing like just like the same people and for me it was like I was looking at people who were 20 years older than me in the same role, earning the same as me, and just thinking, is that it for like the next sort of 20 years? Yeah. So that's when I sort of thought that there has to be a way to sort of do it remotely, and then as soon as I came across this, everything just sort of felt like it was right and jumped straight in.
Because you were in car sales for a total of how long then? Was it 4 years?
4 years, yeah, that's right. I'm 26 now, so I literally finished uni. My brother was a manager there pretty much, so that's how I just slipped in with a job, luckily. Otherwise, I never would have even come across this if I didn't start in sales. But yeah, my brother got me in a job there as I came out of uni and just stuck at it for 4 years. Really enjoyed it more than I ever thought I would. I never sort of saw myself as that. Like I said, I did law at uni, but here I am.
But I always say with car sales, like, I think car sales is a little bit similar to, not similar to tech sales or recruitment, but in the fact that you can, on paper, compared to the average person in a sort of traditional 9 to 5, like you're making a lot better money than most people in 9 to 5. Like you can make the £4,000, £5,000, £6,000 a month take home, right? If you really put in the graph. So what was it even about that compared to anyone else, you quote unquote, compared to the sort of 9 to 5 group, you're making great money, you were still like, yeah, but this isn't what I want to settle for,
Yeah. The thing for me is it was the locational side of it, having to go there every single day. I just hated it. I've got a big passion for traveling, and that was one of the things that I said on that call, wasn't it? I remember telling you, if I could replace my income but be remotely but be able to be remote, like that would make me really, really happy. Just so I could travel and do more of what I wanted to do. So yeah, it was more of a locational side of thing, and if the money side came with that, then sort of fantastic. But that was the real like burner for me. I hated going every single day looking at the same four walls, like the repetitive job, seeing the same people. I just thought there's got to be a better way to do this and get more, like a bigger slice of the pie with like commissions.
When do you were in that sort of car sales role for like sort of 4 years across sort of two. When did you sort of start? Because like for me, obviously, when I was in the corporate sales role, like the first probably year and a half was like, I'm on top of the world. Like this,
yeah.
Than this. And then like I remember vividly like a complete switch of like, oh, like what am I doing? you know. When did you sort of have that? Was it more further down the line, or was it when did you sort of have that?
Yes. So probably about 2 years in, I did actually really enjoy it. Like you say, when you first get into sales and the social side of it and the office life, like I did love it at first. And then a couple of years go by and you realise that it does just start to get repetitive, and my fuse was sort of like coming to the end with it. And then I spent 3 months travelling. I went out, I saved up, I went out to Southeast Asia and travelled there for a few months. And as soon as I came back, and I was just, that was my reality again, like after just having, you know, like the best time of my life travelling and doing what I wanted and living on my own terms essentially, to then come back and be faced with that again, it was like, oh God. So I think that was the sort of wake up call for me, like, and that was 2 years in to then find like a way.
So that was challenging a little bit here. So that, I think it was a similar thing that I said to you on our first call. So that was 2 years in.
Yeah.
You had that realisation, then you did another sort of 2 years.
Yeah.
What did you do? I mean, obviously you'll sort of run. What did you do when you had that realisation? Did you sort of try anything, or were you just sort of like, oh, do you know what? Like, I'm just gonna keep knuckling down, and maybe something will happen.
Yeah, so a little bit of both. I mean, you've always got to take the ownership of finding something that does work, and it took me too long to do that really. If you know, another 2 years, but I did look at other methods. Nothing just sort of really made sense to me though. You know, like the whole like Amazon FBA, like you'd see all of that, and like having your own stock and everything, and other like marketing methods, and just nothing really made sense to me. And it was genuinely only when I did come across high ticket closing, as soon as I saw it, within 2 weeks I was in the program. So it is just about finding the sort of right vehicle. But yeah, I did look around. I looked into trading. I started buying some like cryptos and thinking, you know, maybe in 5-10 years I can make myself financially free that way. Like I didn't realise that there was an opportunity like this out there until I came across it and just jumped straight in when I did.
Yeah. So if you remember, I remember for myself vividly, and I think any sort of person who has sales experience or is in a sales job, like genuinely, and I'm not sure if you probably resonate with the feeling of like, because look, realistically, anyone who's sort of 20s or 30s who wants to get to 10, 20, 30,000 a month, they want to do it online to have the time, financial and location freedom. And I think for a sales guy, it's almost like, if there was a perfect opportunity for me, this would be literally what it would be. Like, do you remember when you did first sort of almost come across it, and then what you were thinking more or less when you did come across it?
Yeah, it was just the like with your videos and stuff, everything you were saying just made complete sense, and to think that there was a way, that it was always in my mind, like there has to be a way to do this online and do it remotely. I'm a salesperson, that there has to be a way where I don't be in the office and I can sell something for someone and work for myself. So as soon as I saw it, it was just like, that is it, that is everything that I've sort of been waiting for and looking for. That's a way to use a skill that I've had for 4 years and make way more money at it than I have been in my corporate life, and it was eye-opening, and with the, you know, the receipts and stuff and the proof of it there as well, there was no real option for it to be. At first I thought, oh, it's got to be too good to be true.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't be stupid. It's not. It's all there for you to see. So it's just about when you see it and when it feels right, sort of going for it, isn't it?
I remember very well the conversation that we had in our I was thinking, this guy's got car sales experience. He's been in it for 4 years, and you did give the sort of vibe where I'm good at sales already. I don't know if I need sort of coaching or training or even, it wasn't even that. I think you also mentioned, I'm looking around at other people and whatnot. So what was your thought process in terms of like the training and coaching and understanding that, hang on a second, like if I do want to get into remote high ticket closing, I mean, we all wish it was as easy as, just land a role. Like, I'm actually going to have to invest in myself, get coaching, get training, even though I've got 4 years of sales experience. Plus, I suppose the other question more or less of, why Capital Closer? Because you spoke to a few other people as well. Yeah.
Well, definitely. Well, why Capital Closer is massively to do with. I think the main thing for me, it wasn't necessarily not like needing the coaching. I think it was more of what I wanted more of was help landing a role. And that's something that I think you do, especially with the new updates. Actually, since I've obviously had an offer, now it's way easier for guys to land an offer than even when I joined, right? With having recruiters inside and things like that. But yeah, I was absolutely wrong saying I didn't think I needed the coaching. Absolutely hold my hands up now and sort of admit that. I think that came from being, like I say, 4 years in the corporate game, and I am a grafter. So like month in, month out, I was always grafting, and I was one of the higher people in there, and it was a sales floor of over 100.
Yeah.
So I think that was just a bit of a confident, maybe a bit of an ego thing, like backing myself, and you don't realise that it's a completely different sort of world of sales. And the first thing that I tried to do was try to go and sort of look into it on my own, but then I struggled with even where to look to find an offer, and if I did jump on calls without going through the proper training, I would have embarrassed myself. I wouldn't have been prepared already. So it is so important. So yeah, I did look around at a few of the others. One thing that I think really stood out with you and Capital Closer in particular for me was the fact that it's you, like you're the guy on the adverts, promoting everything, showing everything, and when you come on the calls, it's you. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a guy in the adverts, a guy on the VSL, the video to lure you in, and then you're on the phone with like a closer to get involved like yourself. Like it was nicer to have that sort of trust, and knowing that you are working with yourself was just a big thing for me.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, 100% exactly. I think that's the biggest thing as well, and I think that for me it's like, look, I've been in a corporate sales position, and I think I understand what those people go through, what they're going to go through, what they have been through in that car sales or tech sales, software sales, BD, recruitment role, and the same with remote closing. So it's just like, look, this is the process we've got to go to. And you're right, I think people do have an ego a lot of the time. To be fair, I had an ego. I remember with even my mentor, I was like, I don't need training, I don't need coaching. But it's like, look, if you're going from playing, and this is the nicest possible way, and I think you'll agree with this now, having gone from car sales to remote closing, it's like, if you're playing in League 2 football, there's a different type of tempo and style of play you're playing at. It's okay standard. If you're a League 2 football player and you all of a sudden try and play in the Prem, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And you're probably going to be kicked off the team immediately, right? Whereas if you're smart about it and go, look, okay, I want to get into the Prem. Let me start playing with a few League 1 Championship players. Let me get some training and coaching. Let me work with some coaches that work with some Prem players. Then play in the Prem. It's much easier, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you look at it from that side of things, it makes you realise that because these remote sales roles, once you get really good, they're paying out the 10, the 12, the 15, the 20, the 25,000 a month in commissions to guys that are really, really good. Like, they're not looking for someone who's just okay at sales. Like, they're going to be really like, oh, can you close? Can you objection handle? Can you challenge prospects? Have you got good follow-up? Like, all of these things, because they're spending a lot on ads and they want to make sure they're getting a good ROAS. But more importantly, for yourself, you joined, as you said, end of March?
March 24th, yeah, it was.
What was your process from coming on board? What was your first sort of 2 months like? So we'll say April and May.
Yeah, so April was just all about getting stuck into it, getting stuck into learning a new process. And like you said, that made me realise exactly what you just said there. When I was going through everything and watching, your call recordings and things like that, it made me realise that, oh, maybe I'm not as good at sales as I potentially thought I was. And there are sort of levels to it. When working in the sort of car sales game, it's people are coming to you wanting a car, right? That they're going to get a car, they need to go to work, they need to do whatever. It's not as impressive to sort of sell to them. They're like really, really warm. Everybody sort of needs a car. Now I'm all of a sudden in an industry where you're asking somebody on a call to, in my case with my offer now, spend $6,000 on one call. So it is completely different. It's a completely different process, and getting used to that it's a learning curve again. Like that, I didn't maybe realise as much as I'd need, but I got stuck into that throughout the whole of April. Love the process, obviously, as well, that you have to do role plays with guys inside, then you then assess and make sure that you are eventually up to scratch. So through April was all about working through the mocks, getting my assessment passed. Before I even landed a role, though, I could see Lewis Miller, of course. That was when he was on fire, when he did his 27,000 month, I think. So I'm seeing Lewis, I'm seeing Jerry put in the deals channel the whole time, and that just kept me motivated. Every single night I'm coming home from work, I'm working my way through the course content, all of the recorded content that you've made. Yeah. Working on the mocks. That was pretty much the whole of April. My life. My friends be like, "What are you doing?" It's like working through that course again. They'd be like, "God's sake, mate!" Every single night, sort of drilling that through. And then, as I say, when I saw the money coming into the deals channel with Miller, with Jerry every single day, I just thought there's no way that's not going to be me now. Yeah, so I went into work in May, and I had my probation meeting a week later, and I knew, because that was 6 months into my new role, my second car sales role,
Yeah.
when I got burnt from the first one. Like I couldn't do any more, and I thought maybe I just need a new start somewhere else. And then within 6 months, I was like the same thing again. So
Yeah.
here I am now. So I came in, and if I had that probation meeting, they would have passed it. But then that would mean that my notice period would be a month. Before the probation meeting, it was a week. So I just made a decision literally at the start of May. I'd not even passed my assessment yet, and I just gave them my notice for a week, and just left. Passed my assessment. You passed my assessment the day I left my job.
I remember.
So it was just all out, find an offer, go for it, which I did just at the end of May. Started that on the 8th of June. And well, you asked my first 2 months, so there you go.
Yeah. We'll run through June and July, Jesus, in a bit, in terms of what you made literally after you left the car sales role. But it's just funny that you just mentioned that. I've just spoken with obviously Tom Fenney.
Yeah.
Who obviously pipped you this month. We'll see who wins next month. That you two, I think you two are pretty much neck and neck at the moment. He sort of joined. Well, he joined about a month before you, so you've got a month on him, should I say? But it was funny because I literally just spoke with him, and it reminded me as well. You know, and look, we always advise to guys. I want to make this very clear that, look, come in, we'll go through the training, the coaching, take calls on the side of your 9 to 5 sales role, and get you to the point of making 3, 4, 5, 6,000 a month on the side. Do that for 1, 2, 3 months, get the consistency, the proof of concept, and then fully transition out. That's like for 95% of guys. Literally, please do that. That is the process. Don't do it another way. However, you can't force some people. Some people just have that innate sort of like drive, relentless belief. I had it, you had it, Tom's had it, a few other guys have had it, where you didn't make a single, and I'm not advising this to people, right? But if people can do what they want, you didn't make a single penny from remote high ticket sales. You joined the end of March. In April, so just over 5 weeks since joining, after being in your car sales role for 4 years, you were like, yeah, I'm making 3.5, 4 grand a month. I'm quitting. Like, what the hell? Because most people wouldn't. What the hell gave you the belief to go, I'm quitting the job. I'm quitting the job.
Yeah, I think again, it's seeing the results on the inside throughout April. Whilst I'm grinding through, I could see every single day that deals channel popping, and just seeing that proof there. I mean, what did Hugo say the other day? Right, his big takeaway from that, you said, like, the biggest takeaway is he's got 2 ears, he's got 2 eyes, he's got a mouth. Like, why can't I do it as well? Wow. So I'm seeing Miller, I'm seeing Jerry put all that work in and do the deals, and I'm like, that is me. Like, if I've done sales for 4 years and I've been towards the top of like these leaderboards month in, month out consistently, there's no way that I can't do that. And I just sort of had the belief in myself, really, and I knew that I could make it work. As soon as I saw it was a real thing, there was no way that it was going to be any other way. I didn't think, like I said, it'd be this quick, but obviously over the moon that it is.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the biggest thing as well. Like, I always say, like, half of it, and that's why sometimes, like, when people come on board and they almost know someone inside making a lot of money or a lot of commission, it's I think that's like the biggest sometimes piece that why people become really successful versus just successful inside, because it's the mindset of, no, this is literally happening. And I think that was the same with me when I left my corporate sales role and I just went all in, and people are looking around me like, well, what are you doing? You've just seen a YouTube video from some guy out in America. I just constantly see these guys making 20, 30,000 a month, younger than me, with 0 sales experience. And I'm like, no, like, I had that undeniable, like, delusional belief, like, it's happening. It's just happening. Like, and I think you had that as well. So you left the sales role in, was it middle of May or the start of May?
The first week of May,
First week of May. Yeah. You then landed a role the end of May?
End of May, yeah, that's
right. End
of
May, cool. So what happened? Talk me through getting onto the role that you're on, which is a really, really, really nice role. How you found the first month, getting to grips with it, selling like high ticket closing, like one call closing, that's how did you find it? What did you finish up on in June?
Yeah. So I landed that role towards the end of May. Started that on after the first week of June. So I think it was June the 9th, if I'm thinking rightly.
Yeah, I think
because I had 3 weeks that month, 3 weeks my second month as well, which obviously we'll get to. So yeah, just the start of it. It was my offer owner believes sort of very much his program that he sells, right, is very much throw you in the deep end anyway. So he sort of had that belief, which is good in a way. So my first day, my calendar was open 8 till 8, like with a lunch in there obviously, but like 8 a.m. 8 p.m. And I think there was like 9 hour calls there my first day, and I was like, oh my god. So I did very much get thrown in there, but that it's sink or swim, right? And that's what you got to do at the end of the day in things like this. That's what I put myself in the position to do. It's what I left my job to do. So it was a bit to get used to, quite intense at the start, but over time you do get more comfortable with it. There's a process there that we've been taught, obviously by you, for a reason, right? So that you are prepped when you do go onto it. So you follow that through. Of course, your first couple of days whilst you're getting used to things and stuff, it is getting in there. But I think I did, my second call I did close actually, which was a nice little boost to get you started with. Worked my way through for 3 months, 3 weeks there, and finished my first month on $4,200 in commissions in my first 3 weeks. And obviously that's with a ramp up and getting used to things. But then I could feel it coming, because like the last week of, I think most of that maybe came in the last week of June. So I had a bit of momentum behind me, and then obviously having a pipeline behind me from my car sales job, and I was very good at follow up. That was a big thing. Like deals would the deal cycle would normally be over a few weeks in my car sales role. So I was very good at following up. So I've got a full pipeline behind me. I've got my second month in July, but I didn't expect it to go as crazy as it did. So
you left in. As you said, first week you came on board end of March. So April was your first month. You then had May, where you decided to leave the sort of car sales role that was, on paper, compared to a lot of people, a good paying role. Then your third month, well, you only had 3 weeks on that role that you were on. You had about 21 days closing on it. You did 4,200. Obviously, we'll get on to what happened just gone. But I mean, the offer that you're on as well, I mean, obviously we won't get into specifics and whatnot, but it's in the sort of AI trading space, we'll say, and it's
that's right.
It's a nice price point. I mean, we'll say it's above 5,000, just so people know. So you're making around sort of 600, 700 per one call that you're closing, right?
That's right, yeah. That's right.
Which is nice. I mean, look, close 10 deals, you're near enough 6K. Close, 20, you're at about 12. So it's a really, really nice offer from that side of things, and you've got to grips with it. And I think that's one of the offers in the space at the moment. I think I've always said to people, like, trading and sort of property at the moment, and anything related to AI is just popping off. I mean, a lot of guys inside doing some serious numbers. It's related to that. So you had that, and then I remember thinking your fourth full month, or your first full month closing, should we say, but your fourth month inside Capital Closer, first full month closing. I remember you telling me that you had a trip to Ibiza, same time as me, for about 3, 4, 5 days. I was like, oh, what a shame. Like, I think this month we really could have gone for like maybe like 5, 6, 7K to first month closing. So talk us through it, front to back, July, going into July. How are you feeling? What were you thinking?
So like I said, I had a bit of momentum behind me from June. Like that last week of June went really well, so I was feeling confident. I felt like it was all just clicking at the right time, and I was like, I'm ready for July. So we did the first 2 weeks, and it went really, really well. And I went to Ibiza on the 15th of July it was, and on the 14th of July, the day before, I made just short, to be fair, of 2,000. It was $1,985 the day before I went to Ibiza, and that passed me over 5,000. So I made 4,200 in my first 3 weeks in the whole of June. And then by the 14th of July, I'd made 5,000. So I was really happy with that. I'd already beat it. Your target for me was 5,000 for the whole month of July. So I'd hit that on the 14th. That was a milestone for me. I'd hit the 5,000, which I was happy with. And then you messaged me and said, that's such a shame you're going IBIFA because you could have got 10K. And I thought, well, there's time for that yet. So then did obviously... Pardon?
How long did you go to Ibiza for?
So a week.
A week?
A week, yeah. I spent a week in Ibiza, yeah.
Jesus, I thought you went for 3, 4 days. You spent a week, so you had hardly taken any calls for a week.
No, well, none. Yeah, no. I think maybe one dropped for me whilst I was away. That of a guy that just decided to go ahead whilst I wasn't there. But outside of that, so I was coming into it. I was probably on. I'd only had that one deal, so I was probably on like $6,000 on the 22nd, the 23rd, coming home from Ibiza. So it did look like 10K. It did look like I wouldn't get 10K, to be fair. But then that last week was just insane. To be fair, everything sort of went for me.
Well, I don't think it even went for you. I think you were just an absolute animal and you just sort of mastered the process. I think your objection handling, even we'll get on to the last call, and you just dialed in everything. You've become confident on the offer. You've been working like an animal, working like a dog, and like there's no like it went for you. It was fully 100% exactly everything came from yourself. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that deal that dropped. I know it was only one, but 600 in commission still. That deal that dropped when you were away in Ibiza, and I don't think you even took a call. The guy just sort of paid. What was because I know I remember I actually was first in Ibiza when that sort of thing happened. It's like, what the hell? I'm not on a call and I've just made like. Do you remember that happening?
Yeah, just like being I'm literally on holiday. I think I was just sat with like eating breakfast at the time, like with my friends, like or on the beach, and just money coming in. It's just a different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mental.
Even when they're coming in like in the gym and stuff like that, it's a different type of life.
Yeah, I completely agree. So then you got back on the 21st, 22nd on about 6,000 in total commissions. What the hell happened the last 7 days?
So I had a lot from my first week in July. There was a lot that people were aware that I was going away on holiday. Everybody that didn't go ahead on the first call, I was sort of prepping them for that next week. Nice. A lot of the follow-ups dropped for me, thankfully, in that week back. I was clawing my way up until it got to a few days out, and I only needed 2 deals. I was on $9,000, so if I got 2 deals, then that would have took me over the 10K amount. And I remember messaging you at the end of like every day, because like one day went by, I'd not put a deal in the channel, another went by, I'd not put a deal in the channel, and everything just seemed to be going wrong on the last few days. I'd have like amazing calls that maybe just didn't push over the line, something ridiculous came up, like one guy goes to pay, calls his bank, can't get it sorted, says he's coming the next day, and you lose things. There's just so many different things that can happen, right? But everything felt like it was going against me coming up to the last day. Again, nothing dropping. It got to 4 p.m. and I had 4 calls left, and I still needed the 2 deals. So I jump on one. I got that over the line. That was crunch time at that point, right? It was like sort of now or never. So I jumped on my 4 p.m. call. I got that closed in one. He paid a full amount, 6,000. That took me up to just needing one more. I then had another one and closed him again, but the customer could only do a 2 pay, so I had to split it in half. So that 2 pay, that half amount, took me to $9,955 with 1 call left to go on the month, literally. Everything on that, and everybody knew about it as well, because I put the deal closed and you said, is that it? Is that the 10K? And I was like, no, it's literally 9,955 and there's one more. So everybody knew it. I was feeling the pressure. I don't know how much you mentioned about the capital closer sort of holiday, but that was sort of on the line as well, a spot for that. Everything on the line, all the pressure. And the woman comes onto the call. She's actually with a boyfriend on the call. I've never had a call like that just yet either. So I was dealing with them. And then straight away I was sort of, at first I thought, oh, we might struggle here. But then I thought, no, I'm going to use that to my advantage, because otherwise at the end of the call she might throw a partner objection at me, but he's right there, so she can't do that. So I thought I'll use that to my advantage, kept him in the loop with the conversation. We get to the end. The lady was the trader in there. He was just sort of there to be there.
Thank God he was on the call.
Yeah, so he was on the call. So at the end of it, he wasn't too involved in the conversation. He tried to sort of take control and be like, so thank you for that, thank you for that, mate, we'll sort of take that information away. But I knew that she would be great. She was already a really successful manual trader. She'd be absolutely fantastic in the program. Everything, when I was giving her my pitch, she was agreeing with everything. It was a great fit. It was a match made in heaven there. But then he sort of jumped in after not really paying attention to the pitch or the conversation and being like, so we'll just take that information away. And I knew that I could not let that call go. I objection handled it for half an hour. Until eventually getting to the point where it was one of those things that you say objection handling, but in a lot of times it's actually helping people overcome like the fear of the risk. So and everything in the pitch, like it was a match made in heaven. You could see at one point I was like, the decisions at the end of the day, guys, they're made with the right amount of information rather than the right amount of time. So what more information can I possibly give you that I haven't already, that is going to help you with making your decision? And they both just looked at each other for about 5 seconds, looked back at me, and they both just started laughing. And I knew I had that was when I was like, I've got him. I've literally got him. And closed the deal. That was 600. That took me over the 10k threshold. Then for hitting 100,000 cash collected, my boss gave me 1,000 bonus, which meant that I went in the space of like 3 hours. I went from $9,000 to 11,550 on the last day of the month.
2,500 made.
Yeah.
In a day.
With the bonus, yeah.
Wow. But again, it just goes to show, like, I mean, I spoke about it in our end of monthly meeting that we did. Maybe I'll throw some clips of it up here on the screen because I can't share my screen here for some reason. And I also want to share my first call with Cavin at the end of March. I want to sort of share that as well. So that will probably hop up on the screen somewhere at some point, maybe at the end of this interview. But it was crazy because so many people knew about that you were literally on 9,950 on the end of the last day of the month at like 7 p.m. at night. And everyone knew about it. And like, it's such a big thing because it's like, you know, if it doesn't happen tonight, tomorrow you start on zero. You got to do it again. And the other thing was, like you mentioned, and we mentioned it on Tom's, that obviously for our massive Marbar trip that we've got coming up next month, you know, there's only, I think, 5 people that are being taken away. It's the top performer in a single month, the most average earner made in terms of their commissions divided by time closing, the quickest to 10k per month, second top total earner, and third total top earner. And obviously you were coming for the quickest to zero from literally the first call, knowing nothing about high ticket closing, never taking a call, nothing, to making 10,000 in a single month. And you did it in 129 days, and you beat Lewis Miller's record of 135 days, I believe he did.
Yes, that was on that call as well. If I didn't do that call, that record, that I wouldn't have had the record, and I wouldn't have had that spot.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Jesus, what a trip to secure. I mean, I think you're gonna have to fight for it this month coming as well. But
I definitely will. It's not set in stone yet. I think we've got Hugo coming through. I'm sure he'll be having a member interview soon as well.
Yeah, we got him fighting away for it, but yeah, I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Like, I think I said this to Tom as well, and just a clear example of how to go through the mentorship and how to get the results. Like, you mentioned so many things there that maybe people may have not picked up on, and just so people actually realise, like, you went through the mentorship, you were working your car sales role, doing your long hours, day in, day out. You've got your friends saying, Cavin, come out, do this, do that, and you say, no, like, I'm doing this mentorship from this guy online that, you know, I've never met him before, but I'm just going to do it. I've got that delusional belief that I'm going to do this for myself. Do I know it's going to work? Well, there's no guarantees in life, but I'm just going to be my own guarantee. I'm just going to get after it. And the constant, you then quit your car sales role. And mate, you've just absolutely got after it. So like that 11,500, I mean, it's just like, you know,
with weekend IBIFA, it's just crazy to me. That's the thing I can't believe I've actually done that. Yeah. And even what is it? It's the second now. It's two days ago. Like when I did it, I think yesterday I just felt like I actually made like some, and it sound, I don't even mean to say it like in like a big-headed way or anything like that, because I'm just not used to it, and it's just like a surprise. But I thought to myself yesterday, I actually made like maybe like an average monthly wage in a day yesterday. Yeah. Like that is absolutely crazy. To me, I can't get over that.
Because your exact, well, I mean, we'll throw it up on the end. But your exact, I remember I literally said to you, okay, so Cavin, like, main thing for me is to understand, like, where do you need to get to in 6 to 12 months? So like we can reverse engineer inside capital close, and we can get you to that point. And I remember, I mean, you can even share if you can remember exactly what you said.
Yeah. I think word for word, I sort of said something along the lines of, to be able to replace my income that I have now, but be able to be remote would make me so happy. As I said, I put a lot of emphasis on the so, didn't I? Which was funny looking back the other day in the call. And then I said, and you know, if I'm able to make 10k a month in maybe a year or two, then sort of great.
You know, and I think it just goes to show. That's why I was up, because which is great, but your belief, or not even belief, you were like, look, I'm just gonna be cool. Replacing, obviously it's not the target, but like, you know, if I could supplement what I'm making now, unbelievably be happy. But I mean, like 10k in a year or two would be great. And the fact that you've in 129 days smashed it, like, is mad. So it's huge props. From your side of things, then, how are we sort of feeling now looking forward? You've secured your spot on the Marbar Trip for now.
No.
How are we looking over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months? Not only from an income side of things, obviously you can run through where you want to get to from an income side of things and the skills you want to develop and whatnot and where you want to take this, but also from a lifestyle side of things, yourself, family, friends, traveling. I know that's a big thing. What are we thinking?
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now I've seen it, and now I'm even more obsessed with it than I was when I was coming home every night working on it. Like, to actually receive that amount of money, now it's all about work for me. And especially with Marbella, like August, as you've said, I mean, you've put a lot of emphasis on how big this August is going to be inside Capital Closer. I'm gonna work so hard. Like I say, the first month that I did in June, I had the first week I wasn't on the offer, so I started a week in. I only had 3 weeks. Last month I had a week in IBIFA. A bit of recovery after that and stuff like that. I still did 11,550. This month I've got a full 31 days to go at it. There's absolutely like no excuse for me to do less than 15,000 this month. So that's what it's about now. Just like graft and yeah, I don't see how I can get bored of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, traveling, like you said, it is a big thing for me, and if I can, do a few months like I have last month in a row, then I'll certainly start to be looking to travel and work at the same time, which was my dream. And yeah, to think literally 6 months ago I didn't have a clue what this was, and I was still going to that job every day, still thinking about how can I work from a laptop wherever I want, to now actually making over 11,000 from home from my bedroom right now. It's insane.
Because I literally, I was just working out there as you were sort of running through it there as well. Because you said, like you still haven't had a full month on the role yet. Obviously, you had like 20 days in June, then you had 20 days in July because you were in Ibiza, and I worked out there. I think you're sort of pacing. I think it was like 490. Obviously, then you went to Ibiza, but on your working days, I think you were pacing $490 in commissions per day. $490 per day. So if we do 490 times 31, so let's say you actually had that full month, or you have that full month in August, so $490 per day times 31, that's $15,190. So it is on this month. It is on. What are you really setting out for this month? Like, what are you generally?
Oh yeah, I've pretty much decided yesterday that I'm going to open my calendar up on the weekend, so I'm going to be a psycho about it this month, and I want to get as close to 20 as I can. Like I said, everyone's going for it this month. That sort of motivates you as well. Everyone inside's going for it. I'm going to open my calendar and I'm going to make sure that I go to IBIFA at all costs. Marbella, my bad.
Well, maybe we'll go there next year.
Yeah. That's future.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think 100%. I think that's the target, and I think that's the sort of baseline standard in terms of where you're going to get to. What would you say to anyone who is working a 9-to-5 sales role? They've maybe seen high ticket closing, like a lot of people that, will it work? Will it not? Can I do it alongside my 9-to-5 sales role? Is there longevity in it? All of these sort of things that maybe you were thinking at one point.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about getting into it. What would you say to them?
I'd say when you're watching Connor's content and you're seeing what he's talking about, and if it is really strongly resonating with you and giving you that gut feeling that it gave me, just take the chance. Just do it. Back yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to be forever thinking about it, regretting it, going to that same thing every day. Why didn't I at least try? If you do have that gut feeling and it is just, is it too good to be true? It's absolutely not. The only way you're going to find out is by getting stuck in, and that's what I did.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. At the end of the day, like, what is the bigger risk? In my opinion, it's just not taking it. And then it's also
where you are.
It's also the flip side of things of like, what is the risk really? Because you're doing it alongside your 9-to-5 sales role. You're most likely in your 20s. You most likely have no expenses. You're making 2, 3, 4, 5,000 a month from your car sales, tech sales, software sales, recruitment role anyway. You're just bolting it on the side. Like, obviously you've gone about the way. I've just got the complete self-belief. But yeah, I mean, just to end on it, did a similar thing with Tom. I think there's absolutely no surprise why you've done the numbers that you've done. I mean, Capital Closer has played a part in it, but to be honest with you, like, we're absolutely nothing apart from the people that are inside, and that's why I do take the calls and I do vet people, and we do sort of want to make sure we have the right people inside, because it makes it a lot easier. So I think the relentless drive that you've had the hunger messaging me all the time. And I think you even had a bit of a moment when you messaged me once saying, look, I haven't been updating you as much as I'd ideally want. I'm going to literally update you now. And then you've just done that. And then you've done 11.5K this month. I see you the exact same way. Tom, Miller, Jerry, Jack, all the rest of the guys inside of you getting this because you're honing your skill set. You're getting better at objection handling. Like you said, you're really mastering that now. Getting this to the 15, the 20, the 25. I genuinely believe you can get this to 30, 35, even 40,000 a month over the next 6 to 12 months. And I genuinely mean that. And we'll do everything on our part to make sure that that happens. Like I mentioned to you, you're on a fantastic, amazing role at the moment. As I said to you last night, obviously, you know, we'll run through it further. There's some really lucrative opportunities coming up on the sales teams. Very similar roles to what you're on at the moment. And yeah, I mean, I see huge potential for you. So it's just a case of keep cracking away. And getting after it, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you're going to see it this month.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Well, look, good to have you on as always, bro. Keep smashing it. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Thank you, bro. See you soon.
Take care, bro. All the best. Bye-bye.
It's me in the DMs. So where do we need to get this to? Just for me to understand. Like, where do we need to get it to over the next 6 months so I can work backwards?
Monetary wise?
Yeah, a bit of both, really.
Yes, yeah. So, like I say, if I earned what I earn now, but I was able to work remote, that would make me so happy, like so happy. And I don't think that's difficult. I think like you must be thinking that's light work, man. Like aim higher, and I am aiming higher, of course I am.
Yeah.
That like the thought of in a year or two to be able to be pulling like 10K a month, like that's insane. Of course it is, but what I'm like, that's what you want. Right? What I need is a lot less than that.
And can I say, you just mentioned there, you went, certainly is all coming together, because today at 9 p.m, 10K in a single month fucking hit. 10,000 in a single month hit online. Fully him, no one else, all him. 139 days since our conversation. But his second month closing, if we want to talk like that. You know, but that's not how I talk.
I made a mistake there. It was 129. I edited it after. I made a typo.
Oh, mate, 129! You beat Lewis Miller. Fuck.
That's the records.
Shit.
And look at you, Hugo.
Oh, shit. Yeah, 129. I mean, Hugo's would still be, but